Hi everyone, welcome to all. This is Vidyam Academy's NEET Initiative Most Expected Question Series. This is Rajiv Patel. Today's topic is 12th Biology, 4th chapter, the Principles of Inheritance and Variation. Into this, subtopic is Mendel's laws, inheritance of one gene. Let's welcome to all, let's get started. The first question is, Gregor Mendel chose Pisum sativum Gordon P for his inheritance experiments. Which combination of features made it ideal? Option A, long generation time, open pollination and small number of offspring. Option B, bisexual flowers with a natural self-fertilization, short generation time, easy cultivation, many contrasting traits, large offspring number. Option C, exclusive cross-pollination, ensuring genetic diversity every generation. Option D, haploid genome making gene expression simpler to study. What is the right answer for this question? The right answer is option B. Bisexual flowers with a natural self-fertilization, short generation time, easy cultivation, many contrasting traits, and large offspring number. Why and how? Let's see the explanation. Garden pea has bisexual flowers that self-fertilize naturally within the closed petal. This guaranteed pure breeding lines over generations without contamination from outside pollen. The plant is cheap to grow, in bulk, competes through one generation per season, and produces large numbers of seeds, giving Mendel the statistical power needed to detect ratios. Most importantly, the pea has 7 pairs of clearing contrasting discontinuous traits: tall versus dwarf, round versus wrinkled, yellow versus green, making offspring classification unambiguous. Without all these features together, Mendel could never have derived the clean ratios that led to his laws. That's what option B is the right answer for the question which one demands for. Question number 2. Mendel crossed pure breeding tall TT with pure breeding dwarf TT plants. What was observed in F1 and which law does they demonstrate? Option A. All F1 plants were dwarf, demonstrating blending inheritance. Option B. F1 plants were an equal mix of tall and dwarf. Option C. All F1 plants were tall, demonstrating Mendel's law of dominance. Option D. F1 plants showed intermediate height, neither tall nor dwarf. Would you guess the right answer? A, B, C, D. The right answer is option C. All F1 plants were tall, demonstrating Mendel's law of dominance. Let's see why and how. Every F1 plant received one T allele from the tall parent of one T allele from the dwarf parent, giving all TT genotype. All F1 plants were tall because T is dominant and completely masked the effect of the T in the heterozygous condition. This is the law of dominance. When two contrasting alleles coexist in a hybrid, only the dominant one expresses itself and the recessive one is completely hidden. The dwarf trait was not lost, it was merely suppressed. Proof came in F2 when the recessive dwarf character reappeared. This result also disapproved blending inheritance, which had predicted intermediate height. That's what all F1 plants were tall, demonstrating Mendel's law of dominance. Let's move to question number 3. When F1 heterozygous tall plants TT self-fertilize, what are the phenotypic and genotypic ratios in F2? Option A. Phenotypic 1:1, genotypic 1:2:1. Option B. Phenotypic 3:1, tall versus dwarf. Phenotypic 1:2:1. And C. Phenotypic 3:1, genotypic 1:1:1:1. Option D. Phenotypic 1:2:1, genotypic 1:1:1:1. What is the right answer? The right answer is option B. TT produces 4 gamete combinations, a genotypic ratio of 1:2:1. Applying dominance, TT versus TT both appear tall, only TT appears dwarf, giving a 3 tall, 1 dwarf phenotypic ratio. The phenotypic and genotypic ratios differ because 2 distinct genotypes produce the same visible phenotype. The 3:1 phenotypic ratio in F2 is the cornerstone of the law of segregation. Proof that the two alleles separated cleanly into gametes and recombined predictably. Whenever phenotypic and genotypic ratio differ, it signals complete dominance at work. That's what option B is the right answer. Question number 4. A test cross is used to find the genotype of dominant phenotype organism, which describes a test cross and its outcome correctly. Option A. So cross with another dominant phenotype 3:1 ratio confirms homozygous dominant. Option B. Cross with homozygous recessive 1:1 ratio means heterozygous. All dominant means homozygous dominant. Option C. Self-fertilization all dominant offspring confirms heterozygous. Option D. Cross with F1 sibling 3:1 ratio confirms dominant genotype. What is the right answer for this question? The answer is option B. Cross with homozygous recessive TT 1:1 ratio means heterozygous. All dominant means homozygous dominant. Let's see why and how. A dominant phenotype organism can be TT or TT, both look identical externally. Crossing it with the homozygous recessive reveals the hidden genotype because TT contributes only T alleles, unmasking whatever the unknown parent contributes. If the unknown is TT, all offspring are TT, all dominant phenotype. If the unknown is TT, offspring are 50% are TT dominant and 50% TT recessive. A clear 1:1 ratio, the test cross is effectively precisely because the recessive parent contributes only T, making the offspring phenotype a direct readout of the unknown parent's alleles. No other cross design achieves this clarity. Let's move to question number 5. Mendel's laws of segregation states which of the following? Option A. Genes for different traits assort independently into gametes. Option B. The two alleles of gene separate during gamete formation, so each gamete carries only one allele of that gene. Option C. The dominant allele always suppresses the recessive in all generations. Option D. Offspring inherit a blended combination of both parental alleles in each gamete. Mendel's law of segregation states which of the following? What is the right answer? Option B is right answer. The two alleles of gene separate during gamete formation, so each gamete carries only one allele of that gene. Why and how? Let's see. Every diploid organism carries two alleles for each gene, one from each parent. During meiosis, homologous chromosomes carrying these alleles separate into different cells. So each gamete receives only one allele per gene. This is the law of segregation. Alleles stay pure, do not blend or alter each other, and segregate cleanly. At fertilization, two gametes fuse, restoring the diploid condition. This law explains the reappearance of the recessive trait in F2. The T allele was present in a TT-F1 plants but separated into its own gametes during meiosis. So recombining as TT in 1/4 of F2 offspring. That is the right answer. Let's move to question number 6. In antirrandom Snapdragon, red RR versus white RR gives pink F1 RR. What phenotypic ratio appears in F2 when F1 self-fertilizes? Option A, 3 red, 1 white. Option B, 1 red, 2 pink, 1 white. Option C, all pink same as F1. D, 1 red, 1 white. No pink in F2. What is the right answer for this question? Option B is right answer. 1 red, 2 pink, 1 white. Let's move to explanation. In incomplete dominance, neither allele full dominance, one R allele produces insufficient pigment for full red color. So RR gives pink intermediate. F1 RR into RR produces genotypic ratio 1 RR is to 2 RR is to 1 RR. Since each genotype produces a distinct phenotype. So here RR is equal to red. 1 R capital R small r is equal to pink. 2 small capital symbols white. The phenotypic ratio equals the genotypic ratio 1:2:1. This is the key difference from complete dominance where TT and TT look identical, collapsing a genotypic 1:2:1 into a phenotypic 3:1. Whenever phenotypic ratio equals to genotypic ratio 1:2:1, it signals incomplete dominance. Question number 7. A person with the genotype exponential caret A, exponential caret B has a blood group AB. Which genetic concept does demonstrate? Option A, incomplete dominance producing a new intermediate blood type. Option B, so codominance both A, B exponential are fully expressed simultaneously producing both A and B antigens on RBCs. Option C, recessive epistasis. One allele suppresses the other. Option D, multiple allelism. Three alleles exist but only one expressed at a time. What is the right answer? The right answer is option B. Codominance both A and B are fully expressed simultaneously, producing both A and B antigens on RBCs. Codominance means both alleles are fully and independently expressed in the heterozygote. So no blending occurs and neither allele dominance. So A, B individuals, the A allele direct production of A type antigens and the B allele simultaneously direct production of B type antigens on the same red blood cell surface. So both proteins are present at full strength. This differs from incomplete dominance where a new intermediate phenotype appears. In codominance, both original phenotypes coexist unchanged. ABO also demonstrate multiple allelism. Three alleles, A, B, exist in the population, though each person carries only two. Let's move to question number 8. So here, match the column. The first one, phenotype. Second one, genotype. Third one, homozygous. Option 4, heterozygous. Genetic composition of an organism for a trait is A. B. Observable physical or biochemical characteristic is B. C. Carrying two identical alleles of gene TT or TT. Option D. Carrying two different alleles of gene only TT. Option A. 1B, 2A, 3C, 4D. Option B. 1A, 2B, 3D, 4C. Option C. 1B, 2A, 3D, 4C. Option D, 1A, 2D, 3B, 4C. What is the right answer? The correct answer is option A. 1B, 2A, 3C, 4D. Why this sequence correctly matched? Let's see. Phenotype is what you can see or measure: flower color, height, blood group, the physical or biochemical expression of the genes in a specific environment. It's called phenotype. So genotype is the actual allele combination the organism carries. So TT combinations, whether or not all of it's visible. It might be visible or may not be visible. Homozygous means both alleles at a locus are identical, either both dominant or both recessive. So here TT are dominant and recessive is another TT. Homozygous organisms breed true because of all their gametes carry the same allele. Heterozygous means the two alleles differ, one dominant and one recessive. These organisms do not breed true, so their gametes carry different alleles in equal proportion. And let's move to question number 9. Here assertion A. In complete dominance, F2 phenotypic ratio is 3:1, but in incomplete dominance, it changes to 1:2:1. Reason R we have. In incomplete dominance, the heterozygote produces an intermediate phenotype distinct from both homozygote. So each of the three F2 genotypes corresponds to a different phenotype, making phenotypic ratio equal to genotypic ratios of 1:2:1. Options are: both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are true but R is not the correct explanation of A. Option C. A is true but R is false. And D. A is false but R is true. What is the right answer for this question? The right answer is option A. Assertion A is true because in complete dominance, Mendel's plea, TT and TT look identical, so three genotypic classes produces only two phenotypical classes, giving 3:1. In incomplete dominance, F2 phenotypic ratio becomes 1:2:1. Reason R is also true and gives the exact cause. Since neither alleles dominance, each genotype produces a uniquely recognizable phenotype, red, pink, white. So the phenotypic ratio directly mirrors the genotypic ratios of 1:2:1. R explains it completely. The ratio changes from 3:1 to 1:2:1 because the heterozygote is now visually distinguishable, splitting the dominant class into two. Direct cause effect. That's what option A, both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. The final question of this topic. Question number 10. Arrange Mendel's monohybrid cross steps in correct chronological order. So P. Pure breeding tall and dwarf lines confirmed by repeated self-fertilization. Q. TT versus TT cross performed, all F1 observed as tall. Or F1 TT plant self-fertilized. Yes, F2 gives 3 tall, 1 dwarf phenotypic ratio. T. F2 dwarf plants self-fertilize, all offspring dwarf. U. F2 tall plants self-fertilize, 1 by 3 breed true TT, 2 by 3 give 3:1 again. So here the options are option A PQRSTU, option B QPRSUT, option C PRQSTU, option D QRPSTU. What is the right answer? The option A is right answer here. Let's see why and how. Mendel first spent 2 years establishing pure breeding lines P plants that produce only identical offspring on self-fertilization. Only then did he cross TT into TT, confirming the dominance in F1. His self-fertilized F1 plants are producing F2 with the landmark 3:1 ratios. The final confirmatory steps determined F2 genotypes. All F2 dwarfs breed true as TT as among F2 talls. So 1/3 bred true, while 2/3 gave 3:1 again, proving 1:2:1 F2 genotypic ratios. This rigorous sequence, not just the ratios, is what Mendel's work are reproducible and credible. That's what. So PQRSTU, so the sequence which correctly and chronological order which mentioned here is right answer. So here we explained 10 most important and expected questions for your upcoming NEET examinations. And next, I will come up with another topic which are very important for your NEET examination. Till so far, I would like to conclude this session with very well goodness. Thank you, and thank you so much to all.